So the sourcing module is one of the components of the CRM here. It's the second one down, sourcing. And the idea here is this is keeping track of quotes that you're receiving in from suppliers and analyzing those. And then you can take them and then generate quotes that you're sending out to customers based on that. So let's kind of walk through how that's done, maybe by creating a new one. So first off, if you click on the sourcing itself, it loads up all the existing offers. And if you want to add a new one, you just click that plus button and that brings you into add new. The first piece is you do need to select which vendor is sending you this quote. So click this company, Ban Rice, for example. And then this part's key is that if you want to, you can link this sourcing offer with an opportunity. So this would be a situation where if a customer has come to you and say they have a new item, for example, and they're looking to have you produce that item, or they want to buy 1,000 of that particular thing, you can take that, generate an RFQ or request for quote that you send out to one or many suppliers. And then as you receive those quotes back, you can enter them as sourcing offers and link them with the original opportunity. So I'm going to do that in this case. And I just created one earlier, so I'm going to link it with that. So I'm selecting this, which was a product pricing opportunity for 5,000 of this product, right? So when I select that, it fills in all the information that it already knows about this opportunity, right? It fills in the customer that it was linked to. It fills in me as the user who's doing the data entry. And then there's a buying rep that the person basically who's working with the supplier is filled in there as well, where it's shipping from. And let's say it's shipping from China to Houston, and that information gets used elsewhere in calculating the landed cost information. So I'll touch on that in a moment. And you can put comments in there if you want to, and it's already filled in the products. I could add more products here if I want to, but we know that this was for 5,000 of that particular product. And I'm going to put a cost in and say, all right, they're quoting us, say $12 a piece on these. And that is a FOB, $12 FOB. So the other thing you do here is if you want to upload and attach documentation. So if the vendor actually sends you a quote document, an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF or whatever, you want to keep a record of that, you can upload it here and link it. And there's also a system generated tool related to this offer too, which we call the price estimator. So let me show you this. If we click on that, it loads this Excel spreadsheet tool that's going to fill in with the details that it knows about this supplier quote. So we know that they're quoting us for 5,000 cases at $12 US per case. It's shipping from China, and those are our terms. Now, by the way, if there's multiple products on this, each one of the products is a separate column in this Excel spreadsheet, but then it's taking our actual FOB cost, and then it's factoring in all these additional costs that we may absorb as part of purchasing this product. Because really what we want to know is not just what we're going to have to pay the factory, but also once all those other costs are considered, what our true actual landed cost is. So this is customizable. This tool is customizable, including the formatting on the tool is customizable too. But if you stick with the default format, then the calculations that are happening within the spreadsheet can happen automatically. So for example, if we have the duty rate at the product level, it would basically take the FOB cost times duty rate and calculate the duty. The freight, for example, there's a table in the system where you're managing freight rates. So in this case, we said it was shipping from, say, China to Houston. So within that table, we can say by default, China to Houston 40-foot container is $3,000, for example. So it would fill in with 3,000 automatically. But you can manually enter cost here too. So let's say we know it's going to be $600 of inland freight. And so then it comes up with our true total cost once all those things are considered. Divides that by the quantity, in this case 5,000, to give us our actual true cost per unit. Now, the other thing is here, we really want to know what price should we be charging the customer for this. So you can play around with the markup. You can sort of default markup, but add on additional here. So basically it's coming back, and based on the markup, plus taking all your true landed cost plus a markup, especially coming back and saying we should really need to be charging the customer $13.41 to make our margin on this product. There's more you can do with this to calculate commissions and things like that too. But that's kind of the idea here. And then this tool does get saved and stored as one of the documents and images here. So you can always go back and reference that later. In fact, if you want to put sort of manual things in that worksheet too, you can always come back and figure out, where did I come up with that pricing? The information gets stored there. So that's the generation and storage of the offer. Just to kind of touch on maybe where you can find that information in the system and what the purpose of putting it in is. Well, one is you can create a purchase order directly from here. So if I click that button, it's just going to take this vendor quote and generate a purchase order, copy everything over. It's sort of a time saver. But also there's a history here. So what was that product again? That was 011500. I can go into that product. In fact, I might be able to do that from right down here. No, yeah. So let's go into products, 01550, here it is. So if I go into that product, I now have a history. All the different quotes I've received in from different vendors on that product is going to be listed down here below in the, we call it sourcing price terms. So each one of these has a unique number associated with it. You have a date in which that was received in. This is the one from today. So we realized it was a $12 FOB for 5,000. And then, you know, you kind of a history there of all the different vendors who you can buy it from and what your pricing is from each vendor. That's one area within the product. Also, if you were to go into the vendor, you have a history here too. So if I were to, that vendor was this Ban Rice. So same idea, I have a history in the sourcing here of all the different things that this vendor has quoted me on, right? So if I do this by date, I can see this is the one that we just created. This is a vendor quote. The offer itself was created. If I created a PO out of that, a purchase order, then you would say, you'd see PO created. So you can kind of get a history of what happened with that vendor quote too. And then what customer and opportunity it was linked with. So it's kind of a linking process among all those things. And then if I were to go to create a quote, now back to the CRM module, if I were to go to create a quote, I can link that quote with one of these sourcing offers, and it will sort of fill in all those details. And I'm going to do that in a separate video.